Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of FTB Beyond. In today's episode, I would like to basically make like a power bank, essentially. A place to store all of our excess power so that we have kind of like a backup when we're not using it. So we're producing a fair amount of power, which is good. But as for a power buffer, we've basically got, what is this? 10 million RF here that we can hold, and that's about it. That and whatever's in our magmatic dynamos that we built fairly recently. So what we're gonna do, and actually, that's not true. I do have one other power bank. Right here, we have a vibrant capacitor bank, which holds 25 million RF, so that's also a thing. But what I want to do in today's episode is I'd like to build a whole bunch of those vibrant capacitor banks, because when you link them all together as essentially like a multi-block, you can get pretty crazy results. Each one of these has a RF in and out limit of 25,000 RF, okay? But that's per capacitor bank that's linked together. So if I put two of them right next to each other, it can hold 50 million RF and have a max input output of 50,000 instead of 25,000. And with each one, it increases. So we're going to build a whole bunch of these vibrant capacitors. That means we are going to need vibrant crystals. We're also going to need a fair amount of electrical steel and a fair amount of octadic capacitors. I'm not doing this recipe. This is just kind of a waste of resources to do it that way. I think we're much better off going straight to this level. So let's take a look and see how much electrical steel we have. We have 54. I think I'd like to make maybe 15 of these. I'm trying to think. Maybe we'll probably want to do. Maybe we'll do like a 3x4, which would be 12, and then have it go 3 deep. So that would be what, 36? Yeah, let's do that, because I'm also trying to think of where I want to put it and how I want to design it and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of want to put it like essentially like in a wall or something like that. Like I want to actually put it somewhere and then design something around it so that it looks good as well. Actually, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. Let's run to our dynamo room over here and just see where we could put this in a way that it would make sense. So here we've got 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we could actually make this whole back wall here dynamos, or I'm sorry, not dynamos, capacitor banks. So that would be 30 of them, and that would be a lot of power storage. So that's what we're going to shoot for. We're going to shoot for 30 vibrant capacitors in today's episode. That's a lot of vibrant capacitors. But I think we have the resources to do it. We're going to have to craft up a bunch of like vibrant alloy and stuff like that, but I think we have the resources to do it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a whole bunch of this vibrant... Ooh. Come to think of it. We're going to do that. Why not? We'll do that. We'll take our emeralds, and we have a whole bunch of them, luckily. And I'm actually going to craft this up here in this table so that we don't make... Well, you know what? Let's actually make a couple extras, but that way we don't make too many of them by accident. There we go. Let's do that. And then we can throw this stuff back in here and turn them back into vibrant alloy. Just like that. There we go. Okay, now, capacitors. We are going to need a whole ton of vibrant capacitors. And basically, if we're going to have 30 of the big capacitor banks, each one of the big capacitor banks is going to take 4 octadic capacitors. And 4 octadic capacitors, each one of those require 2 double layers, which require a total of 4 basic capacitors. So basically, for each one of these vibrant capacitor banks, I'm going to need 16 basic capacitors. That's a lot. So let's see. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. There we go. That is all the basic ones. Now we need to make those into double layers. And we're going to need a lot more energetic alloy, it looks like. Yeah, for sure. How many of those? Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to start pumping out energetic alloy because it's obvious that I'm going to need quite a lot more of it than I have. So that's all right. Let me get to it, guys, and I'll come back to you. All right, guys. I think we have everything we need for realsies this time. We messed it up the first time, but that's okay. I should have exactly enough to make 30. There we go. Look at that. Okay, so now what we want to do is I want to grab a flux point, and then we also want to make sure that we can output from this thing as well. So we're going to need a flux plug in addition to the point, and I need that. Okay. It's all right. Let's just grab like 4. Let's grab a flint and steel. And you know what? We'll just do it right here. Throw, 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 throw. Did you light my house on fire? Are we good? All right. I wouldn't recommend doing that. But I didn't feel like going all the way outside, so it's okay. Anyway, flux block, like so, and a flux plug. Let's get all of these in here, and I honestly wouldn't mind it if we have a bar on both sides, as long as we have symmetry. That's the important thing, because this should essentially be one giant capacitor bank now. Yeah, 750 million RF this thing holds, and it has a maximum transfer of 750,000 RF, which is quite a lot, and I'm good with that. Let's do our first one as dimensional shard ore, because then what I can do is I can make, it's basically the same maintenance costs and everything, but that way what I can do is I can make one of, what are they actually called? This like pink thingy right here, a phased field generator. So what that does is it prevents me from dying if I go into a dimension. And if we can pull that off, that would be very helpful. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Let me get this capacitor bank charged up. I think I'm going to let it charge up all the way before we attempt this, and then I'll come back to you. All right, guys, I am back, and it's not full, but it's pretty close. By the time we get the dimension in the builder and everything, it should be full, or at least close enough that I'm not going to worry about it. But this is going to allow us to kind of put our system to the test and see if we can build one of these custom dimensions without completely kind of getting lost. So let's do this as well. I'm a little concerned that I'm going to get killed, okay? The possibility is very real. So I'm going to take off all my armor. I'm going to leave all of these behind. All my good tools and everything, okay? We'll leave that behind and this behind, with the exception of this charged porter right here. That's the only thing that I'm fine with holding on to while we give this a go, okay? And I think I'm going to... Do I have just a... That'll work. I'll just take this ruby pickaxe with me. Okay. And actually, you know what? I've got a ton of toast. Let's bring our toast too. So now we toss this guy in here. Watch it drain super quickly. 200,000 RF per tick. Holy cow. I don't know. I highly doubt our system can keep up with that. Oh, and you know what? Without my jetpack, I can't go and check on our capacitor. But it looks like this thing's going super slowly as well. We're at like 5% right now. So let's grab our jetpack just so we can check on it. And let's just see. Here we go. And down. Okay? How you holding up? You're not, what? Huh? I am confused. Why? Oh, you know what? I bet I know what the problem is. That thing's not, this is not getting even close to the full amount of power that it needs because our giant capacitor bank isn't hooked up to this where it can use its full potential. Let me show you what I mean. If we go back here, all I've got, I have a vibrant alloy wire, but that has a transfer limit, and that transfer limit is well under 200,000 RF per tick. So what we'll do is something like this, I think, and we'll go there. And now this thing should be getting much more power because these flux points do not have a transfer limit. Why? Apparently that doesn't take power? Oh, okay, I guess not. Cool. I thought it did. So now let's go check on our capacitor. Yeah, this is filling up much more quickly now. Now we get to go check on our capacitor bank and see how we doing. Let's go take a peek. How are we doing now? You are still draining? What? I should be draining, it should be draining power at like a exorbitant rate, because I'm not producing anywhere near 200,000 RF per tick. But it seems like I'm very confused, and these are fine, because they haven't used anything. You are on the right network, right? Oh, ignore limit true. There we go. Is that doing any good? I don't think so. I am so confused. Why is that not making a difference? I feel like that should be making a significant difference, and that our giant capacitor bank that we just set up should be losing power. Because right now we should be using more than we're producing. Why is that not happening? This thing's still just like, oh, here we go. Yeah, okay, so now we're losing 8,000 RF per tick. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. Okay, and we'll change this to ignore limit false as well. And here, ignore limit. Oh, yeah, ignore limit true. Ignore limit true. We don't want to put limits on it. There we go. Okay, yeah. So now we are losing power. That is actually what I wanted to see, because it means everything's working the way that that my mind says it should work. Let's see here. So we are up to 60% or so. Let me finish waiting for this thing to build up all the way. Once it's actually created, we should use a significantly smaller amount of RF. So let me get on that, and I'll come back to you. All right, guys, I am back. The dimension is fully built, and it looks like power-wise, it seems to be filling up very slowly. It's close. I'm a little concerned. We're going to have to be very careful. We're going to have to be very, very careful when we go in. So I think my original plan of putting all of my important items into this chest before we go is probably a really good idea. So we're going to do that. I'm going to grab a pickaxe from here, which should be able to mine everything we need, I hope. And I'm going to dump all of my experience in here. Oh, and I'm going to take off my armor. That way, just in case we don't make it back, we'll be okay. I think we'll be fine, though. It seems to be having power in it, so let's give this a try and see. Oh, no! No! Back in! Oh, I was very concerned there. Okay, let's head on in, and let's just see if it's stable or not. If it is stable, I can come back here with other equipment. But I think we'll be okay. It seemed like it wasn't dropping down to 0 or anything like that. It's going to take a minute to load the terrain. But if this works, we're going to have a lot of dimensional shard ore, which is going to be very important because we can use that to upgrade our tools, upgrade all of our things. And it basically is going to allow us to create dimensions for a lower power cost and all sorts of other stuff too. So I think we'll be good. Okay, we're here. Everything seems good. Let's rename this Dimensional Shard. Okay. It's going to take a minute. Since everything is just loading in right now, it's going to take a minute for these to it's going to be super, super laggy at first. But these are what I came here for. Dimensional shards from RF Tools. We need a lot of these. And these are going to be super, super useful and important. And this place does seem to be stable. Oh, I do have mining fatigue and slowness. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. Hopefully we don't die. I can live with the mining fatigue. The other option too, though, would be I could come back here with a quarry and set this thing up and just get tons of dimensional shard ore. That's probably a better idea. Yeah, let's do that. I've got 35 dimensional shards on me at the moment. There we go. I think... I'm pretty sure that my dimension, or my quarry is in this red wool dimension, I think. But I don't know for sure. So, let's make ourselves one of these guys, a phased field generator. This thing is going to essentially protect us and keep us from getting killed in situations where we would be in trouble because the dimension is broken or whatever it may be, okay? As for the dimensional shard ore, or the dimensional shards, we can use those for all sorts of RF Tools related things, and we can use them to infuse dimensions and quarry. Deep resonance laser? Really? Huh. I didn't know you could use it for that. Anyway, we're going to want to make, I think it's called an infuser or something like that. I'll have to look into the book a little bit and figure out how that works. The big thing, though, is I wanted to make one of these phased field generators before we continued our exploration. Because as long as I have this thing, right? As long as this is in my inventory, I won't die. So I don't have, I won't die from a dimension not working properly. So, what that means, let's see, 3, 4, 5, right? Yep. Okay, good. Okay, so, as I said, what this means is if I go into a dimension that's all busted up, I don't have to worry about accidentally getting killed. So if I take this guy out of here, and we put our red wool dimension in here instead, and this thing is already built, so it's good. I just needed to provide it with some power. We can go there and grab our quarry, and then we'll be able to use that to get the dimensional shard ore. And if we can power the dimensional shard ore, that means we should also be able to power... Okay, this is not in here. This is not the right place to be. This is not where I wanted. Do I have a builder? I thought I had an extra builders. Oh, you know what? I'll bet... let's sleep real quick. I'll bet my builder's actually over by the immersive engineering house. What you want to bet that I left it over there? Right there? No? Seriously, where did I put my builder? I had one. Is it in my backpack? Ah, there it is. Okay, builder block, flux point, chest, I guess. Maybe a tesseract would be better. Or I'm sorry, a dimensional transceiver. I do that every time. I always get the name wrong. Dimensional, I don't have an extra dimensional transceiver though. I suppose I could make one easily enough. But maybe what we'll do is we'll just fill up this diamond chest with the ore and call it good. So this is ID 4. So what I want is ID 6. And we'll toss that guy in here. It's going to start filling up with power. And then we can go in there with our builder block, with our lever, all this kind of stuff. Is there anything else there that we need? I don't think so. Let's go get ourselves a whole bunch of dimensional shard ore. Ooh, actually, come to think of it, before I do that, you know what I could just do? Is make one of these ender chests. And then that will also get ported directly into my refined storage system. That's probably a much better option. Okay, we are here. The struggle is real, lag-wise. Okay, there we go. I need my shape quarry card. We put a flux point on there to power this thing. Good. I'll put a lever here. Put an ender chest there. Right click. We'll say here to... I don't think I need this much of it, honestly. Let's just go to about here or so. Okay, down, please. Thank you. And literally this entire dimension is just dimensional shard ore, so... yeah, we'll have plenty. That should be deep enough. And toss you in there. And look at that. We're getting all the dimensional shard ore. That should do it for us. We'll just let that go until it's done. It must be almost done. I didn't dig down that far, did I? Either way. Okay, guys, I am back. So I've been reading the RF Tools Dimension Manual, and apparently what I need to make is the machine infuser, this guy right here. And we have the dimensional shards now, so let's go ahead and do that. As for dimensional shards, I've got like 10,000 of them, apparently. Was that? Yeah, 9.9 thousand. Holy cow, that's a lot of dimensional shards. Anyway, let's put this guy here. And it does require power, so we're going to need to grab a flux point. And let's just put that right here for the time being so this thing can fill up with power. Okay? Then, what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my dimension builder and put this guy in here, right? And then we'll take a bunch of dimensional shard ore, and we can infuse this thing with up to 256 dimensional shard ore, which will cause it to use less power and build dimensions faster. So at 100% level of infusion, we'll have to see what we can do with this thing. Let me fill this thing up with the dimensional shards, and then I'll come back. All right, so we got our dimension builder up to 100% RF, or 100% infusion, right? So now I'm curious, if I take this and I put this in here, it still says it requires 50,000 RF. So I don't know. It is definitely infused 100% of the way. So the question is it still using 50,000 RF per tick? Or is that not a thing? The other question is, can I infuse this? If I take dimensional shard ore and we toss that in there, it makes no difference. Okay, so you can't infuse that. So I'm just gonna assume that we get some sort of a bonus to power consumption doing that. That's my guess. Anyway, it's really hard to tell for sure. Let's grab a flat dimlet here, and let's try next with glowstone, okay? Oh, just kidding, other way around. Oh, and I need a dimension tab, there we go. Toss you in here, store. Still says it needs crazy maintenance costs and all that kind of stuff. So let's toss that in here. Oh, it's going much, much faster than it was. For sure. But then once it gets down, it's actually still going pretty quick. So I'm thinking that there is definitely a benefit, and a significant one at that, for having that thing infused 100% of the way. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I'm definitely noticing a difference. Let's see. If we look at this, still draining about 10,000 RF per tick out of our giant capacitor bank. That's okay. I think we'll be fine. The other thing that I want to infuse, though, is I definitely want to infuse my builder that I'm using for all this quarrying stuff, because I have a feeling that's also going to be a very beneficial machine to have infused. So let's toss that in here. Yeah, reduces power consumption and then also has increased speed as well. It takes 4 stacks of dimensional shards to fully infuse one thing. I'm almost tempted to infuse an infuser, but I think that's overkill and kind of unnecessary. Excuse me. Okay, so this is going now. We've got a glowstone dimension built. Looks like it is going to struggle a little bit for power, but let's just let it run for a little bit until we have a chance to kind of build up a bit of a power backlog, is what I'm thinking. It's looking like it's going 0, 0, 0, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell if it's actually making progress or not. Let me get my builder fully infused. Let me get this thing going, and we'll see if we can... Oh, no, it's going up now. Okay, yeah. Anyway, let me get these finished up. Okay, so while I'm preparing for this, I think what I need to do is move my glowstone over to this compacting drawer. Okay, I think that's going to be a much better place to keep it. And then we'll go and put 4 emeralds and a void upgrade in there, because that's going to hold a pretty significant amount of glowstone, okay? And then, oh, actually, thing back. Okay. So, this should be good now. So, let's swing over here. Everything should be infused. Everything should be done. Let's put all of this stuff away for a minute. We've got our builder. I'm going to grab another flux point, like so. And I think that's everything we need, right? I got our lever. Got our ender chest. Shape card's already in there. This thing has power. Let's go to the glowstone dimension. Okay, so we're here in the glowstone dimension, which is good. However, definitely the world is absolutely struggling to do this. So we're taking damage. We've got hunger. We've got things that the phased field generator is luckily keeping us alive. And I just realized with the mining fatigue, I don't think I'm actually going to be able to pick that back up. Dang it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Teleport. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Whew. Holy cow, that damage all came at once. Phased field generator. You saved my life. Oh. Okay. Wow. That was brutal. This thing is struggling for sure. I don't know why. Oh, you know what? I wonder. Let's change that to priority 1. I don't know that made a difference. Let's change that to priority 3. Now, is that helping at all? Doesn't seem to be. It's receiving just under... just under 50,000 RF per tick. Or, I mean, like, it's almost there. As a maintain cost, it needs... Like, I'm getting just enough power to keep this thing intact. I'm really afraid to go back in there. Maybe what I should do... Well, no, because the thing is... This thing is producing a lot of power. But the thing is, my power is coming out of here. And this capacitor, there's no way this thing is drained. Like, look at this. I should be putting out a lot more power out of this capacitor. I don't know what the deal is. It's very strange. Especially given that this thing has a maximum output of a lot more than what it's actually doing. Let me know if you know why that's going on. I think I'm going to have to hold off on the glowstone dimension for a little while. That was close. That was very, very dangerous. Almost got killed there. But guys, I think that is going to do it for this episode. My friends, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it, and it really helps out my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time.